everyone. Welcome to the Be Better Show. Hi. So
Mhm.
today is the very first episode of season 2 of the Be Better Show. We are back, and I have the perfect guest to kick off our season 2. We have Dr. Alicia Shelly. She is a board certified internal medicine and obesity medicine physician. She works out of Douglasville, Georgia. She is amazing. She has a wonderful podcast, Back on Track, How to Avoid Weight Regain. You guys should check it out. I think I have a screen announcing that. So this is her podcast. She also is a coach of a weight loss group as well. And she's just amazing. She just completed an Ironman. So like I mentioned yesterday in the live, she's all the things that she talks about. She absolutely lives them. She knows she understands these lessons on a cellular level. And her podcast is literally about all the things that we're talking about. So this is her wheelhouse, her passion, her love, what she has dedicated her life to. Thank you so much for being on the show with us, Dr. Shelly.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for allowing me to be able to come and just share my
I'm
story.
so Absolutely. I'm so excited. So I talked a lot about you, but tell us a little bit about yourself. How'd you kind of end up in this place? What spurred your passion in this particular area?
All my life I've kind of dealt with weight. Like I battled with it even as a child. And so I'm the one that's gone up and down on your weight, yo-yo diet this, tried this fad diet, and it just was not working. I even did underwent sleeve gastrectomy, bariatric surgery. I lost weight and then gained that back. And then I realized, something's got to change. You're doing a lot,
Right.
and it just doesn't, you seem to be back in the same spot. What's
Mhm.
going on? And so that's when I realized that this needs to be more of a lifestyle. This
Yeah.
needs to not be more of like, okay, I'm going to do this diet for this time, lose this weight, and then that's it. And so I really had to change my mindset. And it helped me. It helped me battle through burnout. It helped me battle through
Mm.
anxiety, just by having a more holistic, healthy lifestyle and just realizing that, hey, not every day is going to be perfect, and that's okay. Okay.
Absolutely.
And so that's why I
Absolutely.
ended up wanting to talk and share my story with others so that they too can realize they're not alone, number one, and that number two, you can do it. Even if you've been like me, where you've gone up and down, up and down. Like I had a 40th birthday party, and I was
You
looking at
look
my
fabulous.
pictures. I was looking at my pictures. I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah,
You
you're
can
40 if
see
you
the
brought it in.
difference.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I just want people to realize that you can do it. And so that's why I started the Back on Track Overcoming Weight Regain podcast, and now do group coaching, just so that I can help women and men kind of achieve their weight loss goals too.
That's awesome. That I love that you're so passionate that you have this personal story. I didn't know that about you with the surgery and gaining after that and then having to recover. That's so interesting because I have so many patients that are just like you that have had lots of not yo-yo, I don't want to say that, but lots of ups and downs with their weight. But always kind of struggling to keep it off and to make it really a lifestyle switch. So, are there any tips that you have about that? Again, your whole podcast is literally that. Um,
Yeah.
but what tip would you say? I guess is the uh, biggest tip or top 3 tips, maybe if you can't pick one that helps us not to go through the cycle of losing and regaining and losing and regaining.
Yeah. So I would say the one big thing is kind of focusing a little bit on your mindset and your thoughts. A lot of
Mm,
times, especially when you've lost and gain, you get really discouraged.
yeah.
A lot of times when you get set where you're like, okay, I gotta lose weight again. You sometimes have these negative thoughts that come
Mm,
in and just seep in. They're like, oh, the things that, you're gonna lose weight and gain it back again. These negative
yeah.
thoughts. I
Yeah.
call it my negative friend called Stella.
Oh, you have a name.
Yeah, I have a name for it, Stella,
Yeah, I love that.
who is the negative Nelly that's like
Yeah.
on my shoulder, being like, "Girl, just forget about it. You're not gonna, you're just gonna
Ab-
gain the weight back." We all
Absolutely.
have that. We have
We
that.
do. I have a Stella too. Yeah, absolutely.
Stella too.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so sometimes we have to kind of reinforce our positive thoughts.
Hmm.
So remind ourselves that because we've done it before, we've lost weight before, we
Yeah.
can do it again. By implementing certain steps, even if they're just small, healthy steps in your lifestyle, is better than where you are, before you started. So I would say the first step is making sure you have positive thoughts. And one way how I would do that is having like different affirmation, having different quotes. I kind of put things up around my house so that I may dance around it. I have it I have it on my mirror where I'm brushing my teeth. So I remind myself, you can do it. Because I'm telling you, some days you wake up and you're like, I do not want to do anything healthy today. I'm done. You have those days, and that's okay to have those days. You're going to have it. But so mindset is important. Having affirmation is important. Number 2, I would say, is making realistic goals. Now, because a lot of times we remember how we lost weight when we were in our 20s.
Yeah.
And a lot of times when we're in our 20s, all you have to do is stop eating pizza, stop drinking.
Exactly. That's it. It's off.
That's it. I have so many
30 pounds. Yeah.
No, and you lose it, and you're like, oh, I'm doing, but now you're in your 30s, you're in your 40s, you're in your 50s, and you're like, well, why is the weight not going off? And the reason being is your body is changing. Your metabolism is decreasing than it was when you were in your 20s. And so a lot of times it's more to it than just like stopping drinking sodas. Although it does help. Don't let me
definitely.
Don't let me lie there. It does help. But you may find that it's more of a journey versus like a sprint. It's a marathon instead of a sprint. So making realistic goals where you are now, because when you were 20s, you probably weren't married, you probably didn't have children. And so you were able to spend hours upon hours in the gym. Now you may or may not have 30 minutes. You may have to take your child to, out after school sports. You may have to work late for work, So be realistic in what you can do, because it gets overwhelming. Once again, we're trying to avoid those negative thoughts. And what happens when we're not meeting our goals is that it starts to seep in that, oh, you're not doing it right. So making realistic goals. And then thirdly,
love it.
I know, right? You said,
love it.
3.
I said 3 and you came out with them. I love it.
I would say give yourself grace. Give yourself grace.
Good. Yes.
Because a lot of times we are human. We are not perfect. And I know personally, I'm a perfectionist. I want everything to be right. I want to do everything right all the time. And what I realize is that that's not practical.
Yeah.
Things are gonna get curveball your way. You're gonna wish you're like, hey, I'm gonna exercise today, but I gotta finish this.
Right.
I gotta finish this tonight. And so you may not be able to exercise the way you want to. Don't beat yourself up about it. Just say, hey, look, I'm gonna hit it hard tomorrow. So that doesn't mean, give yourself all these excuses, but it's just give yourself grace when things happen. I was talking to a patient. She was in her 70s and she never thought she could lose weight, but we didn't do any medication. We just tried lifestyle changes. And when she came back, I asked her, she had lost like 20 pounds. I was like, what? You lost 20 pounds? Oh my God. What'd you do?
Yeah.
What, we just had a 45-minute conversation. What happened? And she was like, Doc, I forgave myself. Before I was a perfectionist, I had to do everything right. And when I wasn't doing things right, I would get down on myself. I beat myself up. But now I give myself grace. I forgive myself when I can't meet my expectations. And it gives me a relief. And now I was able to kind of keep going and be consistent with my weight loss. And subsequently, she lost 20 pounds in about 4 months. And I'm like, oh, goodness. So it works. It works.
Awesome. So you said we're going to do mindset. You want to have achievable goals, but achievable goals, and then give yourself grace. Those are awesome tips. So then I want to also get into the restarting, right? So this are we doing the same kind of, is there any special tips that you would give when there's a cycle. So here we are, we've regained again, and we know we want to restart, and we know, okay, I know the things I had to do that made me lose weight before. How do I restart it? Because like you said, people do have such a negative mindset of like, I can't do it. I failed.
And a lot of times I would say is that you need to focus on Not so a lot of times there are a lot of diets out there. There's like
A
keto
lot,
diet,
everything.
there's like paleo diet, all these diet, vegetarian diet, plant-based diet, all these diets out there. But you have to find what works for you. I was talking to a patient actually today, and I was saying, hey, you can maybe have a sandwich for lunch. She's like, but isn't bread bad? And I'm like, well, are you a diabetic? Like, and she's like, no. I was like, well, not for you. You know, you can. I would tell her eat in moderation.
Right.
Don't just all your food is bread, but eat in moderation. But don't think something's bad for you because somebody else can't have it. So what I'm trying to say is find what works for you. So a lot of people can't do all the different fad diets that are out there. I'm not calling keto diet fad, but I'm just saying not everybody can lower their carbs to 20 grams. No. I know this for a fact. I tried. And I was very hangry. I was hungry.
Too.
I was angry.
Yeah. I need carbs. They help make my brain happy. Without them, I'm not a nice person. No.
And the funny thing is, I didn't even get down to 20. I went down to 100 grams, and I was like, "Oh no," you know. So I realized I couldn't do that, you know. But there's some people who just thrive.
There are.
They're like, yes, this is what I need. I'm not only I feel good, I feel healthy, I've lost weight, my diet, my A1C is better. Like, you know, they thrive. And so you have to find what works for you. So know that there are some tips as far as what everyone could use as far as with nutrition is concerned. First thing is quality over quantity. Now, when I say quality, I'm referring to processed foods. Okay.
Oh, that's so good. I love it. Love it. You're speaking my language.
Yes. And it makes a huge difference. So when I'm talking about processed foods, so if we think about an apple, a full apple, green apple that you get from the store is not processed. It's unprocessed. It's the fruit. It's in its normal form. But if you take that apple, you smash it down, add a little sugar, and you get applesauce, more processed. In fact, a little bit ultra processed because it's not as natural. They put some stuff in there, coloring, dye, all the things. But so not as processed. But if you take the same apple and you process it some more and you make gummy bears, ultra processed.
Exactly. Ultra
processed. So now you go from this very natural thing, which is a green apple, to not only applesauce, now gummy bears is more processed. It has extra sugar, it has extra calories, extra sodium, all the things you don't really need. So I would say focus on foods that are less processed. They did a study, Dr. Hall did a study in 2019 where he put like 20 people in like this hotel. Well, it wasn't a hotel, but it was the NIH suite. But and he basically for the 20 days, the first 10 days he gave them like unprocessed food. I mean, not unprocessed, processed food like hamburgers, steaks. I mean, they were still healthy. It had the same nutrients, but it was more processed.
The same calorie content, right?
Same calorie content. And what they found with those people is that they gradually gained weight. They didn't exercise. They were just there. They gradually gained weight. Then same people, he gave them a plate of unprocessed, same calories, same sodium, same sugar. And he noticed that they gradually lost weight, which tells us that the quality of food is extremely important. I was really surprised. I went to Panama and we ate the food there. And of course, it's South America, is it Central America? So they have lots of, rice and beans. It's cultural. And I got back home like, man, I would have thought I'd gained weight. I don't know why I actually lost weight in Panama eating, more rice and beans and things of that nature. And I was talking to my mom about it. She's like, well, because the food there is more fresh. They're making this, they are not killing the fatted calf, but it's just fresher food. Like I said, the quality of it makes it easier for your body to lose weight. Oh, can you not hear me?
Hold on 1 second. I'm so sorry. I did not put it on Do Not Disturb. Lesson learned. I don't even know how to do that now. Hi, guys. Sorry for the... Now I can't hear anything. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I can't hear myself.
You can't hear yourself?
Hello. You're smashing it too.
Oh, yeah.
That's okay. If you can hear me, if you guys are in the chat, can you type if you can hear me? Can you guys hear me? Hi, Mr. Phillips. Can you type if you can hear me? I don't know. Oh man. That's okay. I'll just edit this out when I make it. Oh, I'm so sorry. You were on a roll. We were talking about the processed foods in Panama, or the lack of them, and the fresh. I had the same experience when I went to Mexico. I still can't hear you. Ah!
Mhm.
Oh man, I don't know how to manage this.
Do you want me to just
No
keep
one is
talking?
replying in the chat. I can see you, but I can't hear you. Hold on, maybe I've muted you. Let's do guest. I see you. If you guys could just give me a little grace as well. It says more. Hold on one second. Nope, I don't know what that is. Private chat. That's you.
Okay.
You, yes, yes. I just don't know if can you hear me? Yes.
I can hear you. I can hear you. Okay. I hope everyone can hear me. But if not, we'll be in the video.
Oh, perfect. Okay, you can hear both of us, Miss Phillips. Can you just
Okay.
respond? I can't hear her, but if you can hear both of us, that's awesome.
Okay. Well, as long
Maybe
as
if I
you can.
take these out.
Okay. Can you hear me now? No, you can't hear me. Okay. Well, yeah.
Give me. Oh Lord. Hold on. 1 second. I'm gonna put my phone on Do Not Disturb as well, although it's on a weird screen. Where is that at? I don't see it. I don't see it. And my sister's texting me. Thank you, Picky. She can hear both of us. Oh, okay. Well, if you can hear us, we're just gonna go. It's just now it's not gonna be a great conversation, but that's okay.
No problem. No problem.
I can
So,
read your lips actually. So
okay.
I can.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that the processed food makes a difference. So number one, the processed foods. I was my first thought was number one, find a diet that works for you. Find a nutritional plan that works for you, and that works. Oh, Vernita says her sister wants to move to Panama in 5 years. It's a beautiful country, let me tell you. So you will enjoy it. And second thing, processed foods. And I would say the third thing is water and sugary beverages. So let me take one moment just to talk about sugary beverages. So I'll be honest with you, I enjoy a good Diet Coke or a good Diet Pepsi now and again. But what I realized that even though it's diet, even though there's no calories, there's still a lot of sodium, there's still a lot of artificial sugar, and overall, it's not as healthy for you. And sometimes I have patients, and this may not be your story, who drink a lot of soda, a lot of sweet tea on a daily basis. I'm in Georgia, so sweet tea is like next up to water. Okay. So I would say, limiting the sugary beverages in your diet is helpful so that you can have less, less sodium, less salt. Even if you're drinking the zero diet drinks, which have no calories, it's still important that you still limit them because there's still sodium and sugar in it. Water is important. Not only does water
Oh,
cleanse
you're
the
frozen.
body, cleanse the kidneys, it actually helps you to feel full so that you don't feel as hungry throughout the day and you eat less. So those would be my 3 nutritional tips. And yes, it's lots of bottled water, good to drink. I would say bottled water is good to drink. Definitely, I'd recommend at least 64 ounces. Some people go to a whole gallon, and that's fine. But at least if you're getting 64 ounces, you're getting enough water that your body needs.
Awesome. So I wanted to ask you another question. So I know that you just finished the Ironman. One, what events are part of the Ironman? Because it's just so much. And then what is the importance of exercise to keeping healthy habits? I've heard that it's a keystone habit. So if you could touch on that, of how fitness has also helped it become a full lifestyle for you.
Oh, yes. So I actually just completed the Ironman half. So I'm at the Ironman half. I'm training for the Ironman full in September. So I will soon be there. September will be here before you know it. And so the Ironman, the Ironman in general is a triathlon. It's a long distance triathlon. So it consists of 2.4 miles of swimming, 116 miles of riding your bike, and 26.2 miles of running. Now, the Ironman half that I just completed was 1.2 miles of swimming, 56 miles of riding your bike and 13 miles of running. And so the reason why I'm not very athletic. So this was not something that just came. I'm somebody who likes challenges. And I actually started running in 2016 and loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. And so I would challenge myself with marathons. And then one day I was like, I think I could be able to do an Ironman. And because my inner critic said I couldn't do it, I was like, well, I have to prove Stella wrong. So I was like, let me go and train. So I've been training since October of 2021 for an Ironman, and I'm looking forward to it. And hopefully in September, I will complete it. The reason why exercise is so important, especially with weight loss, now you don't have to do what I do to be successful. I have people, in fact, I have a client here who she's bedbound. She's in a wheelchair. And so the most she's able to do to exercise is doing the physical therapy stretches. And so she's doing the physical therapy stretches. And she was so surprised when she came back 4 months later to the office. And she's like, oh my goodness, I lost 20 pounds. And I'm like, you did it. You did it. Now, mind you, she did change things in her diet, but she was still active, but just at her level. So number one, I would say is be active where you are. You don't have to do what I do. This has been years of kind of getting to this point. When I first started running, I did the Couch to 5K app. That's what I did to kind of get myself moving. And by doing it gradually, what you'll find is that number one, you're getting better, you're getting stronger, you see the difference. And then before you know it, you look back and you're like, I don't know how I did not doing this anymore, how I couldn't, do this as much. So it's important to kind of keep going. I find that exercise is essential with losing weight because not only does it help you to burn more calories, it also helps you, number one, to feel better. You release endorphins, which is a happy hormone when you exercise. So it helps you feel accomplished. Also, it helps with strength training. As we age, we start to lose calcium. And so by exercising and moving, and doing the strength training, it actually helps improve our bone density. So I was talking to one lady, she was told that she had osteoporosis and she couldn't take the medication because it irritated her stomach. And so she started training for a triathlon. And then when the next time they did her bone density test, she was now in osteopenia. So it got better, even though she did not take the medication. Now, please do not take this disclaimer. If your doctor is recommending medication, please talk to your doctor about this. But what I'm trying to say is that by physical activity, it can help improve your health and your medical conditions. So I've had patients who have high blood pressure. They started a walking program and they were able to get off their medications. So it is important.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So Dr. Shelly has all the tips. You see, she is a pro at this. Where can people find more information about you? Where can they find you at? I want to know all the things. I'm sure all my audience does too. By the way, if you're watching this now, leave a comment. And if you're watching it later, hashtag replay. Dr. Shelly is amazing. And I'm going to come back and rewatch this. It's so good, so good. So where can people find you?
So you can find me at my website, drshelleymd.com. And then also, if you want to learn more, I have the Back on Track Overcoming Weight Regain podcast, where feel free to listen in and just glean information that I have. And so, that's where you can find me.
Thank you so much. So I'm Dr. Catrice Brooks. I'm the founder of Quench Clinic. I'm servicing the Milwaukee area as well as Chicago. You can find Dr. Shelly in Atlanta and her coaching program. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm sure I'm going to have her back. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And take those tips. I'm going to take them too. Thank you.